In this video, we're going to talk about invisibility.
Howdy guys. Oh, you got your camera there, huh?
Already.
Every documentary team has to make choices about how they want to frame their assets. And one of those choices is whether or not to include references to the filmmaker. Your editing can highlight the presence of the filmmaker, or it can render them invisible, focusing your audience's attention instead on the subjects. For a very simple example of this, let's look at footage from my 2006 documentary, Indies Under Fire, The Battle for the American Bookstore, which chronicled the fates of 3 independent bookstores in the San Francisco Bay Area. In this scene, Borders Books has just opened a brand new store in downtown Santa Cruz over the objections of some locals who feel protective of their local bookstore. Borders manager Chris Arnett has just cut the ribbon on her new store and is surveying the protesters outside. We've switched to the unedited footage here, and in it you'll see that I ask a question of Chris in order to elicit a response, and my presence is undeniable.
So what do you think of their, what do you think of the protest outside?
I'm living in a community that cares about what's going on around them. In the long run, I'd rather be in a place like that.
My approach to editing this film was to try to remove myself as much as possible from the narrative, cutting out my interactions with the subjects. Look how the scene plays out in the finished film.
Bigger is better. Diversity is painful. Right. It's lonely.
I'm living in a community that cares about what's going on around them.
In this rendering, Chris looks out meaningfully at the people outside and then voices her reaction, as if it simply bubbled right out of her. The filmmaker's presence is still there because she's obviously talking to someone off camera, but it's been lessened considerably, and the dramatic qualities of the scene are arguably improved. You probably noticed that we sculpted the audio as well, adding some sounds from outside to make the connection between Chris and the protesters stronger. This example is one of many contained in the book Documentary Editing, Principles and Practice. For more on the many considerations one takes in framing the footage for a documentary, pick up a copy of the book and turn to Chapter 8.